The African country of Zimbabwe is suffering from one of the hardest economic crises. The locals and visitors are dealing with long lines for fuel, high prices for essential items, no medications for sale, problems getting cash, and many other pressing issues. The annual inflation is around 300%, which makes the local currency to devaluate daily. There is also a shortage of fuel, which makes drivers be in lines for hours to pay between $7 and $18 for a quarter of a gallon of fuel. The economic crisis are affecting the food supply, which has caused the worst food insecurity in recent memory. To make matters worse, millions of people, especially in the rural areas, have been left without water and electricity because there is no money to keep the treatment plants nor power generators working. These were the conditions encountered by 10 courageous nurses and Dr. Talger upon their arrival in Zimbabwe for the 8th NISNA's International Medical Missions in 2019. On the first day, the group was received by the CEO of the Harare Hospital, the largest in the country, followed by a visit to several departments. Next to the hospital is the School of Nursing. The students welcomed our delegation. After the hospital and the School of Nursing visits, the team traveled by car for 9 hours to the remote southernmost parts of Zimbabwe, near the border with Mozambique, for our 2 days of medical mission. The region was devastated in the last month of March by Cyclone Idai, killing hundreds of people and leaving thousands homeless.
Saka ndinokwanisa kubata mwana anditozivi kuti mwana wakabudawo sei. Inini pandakadirikirwa ndakandozondoona guwe ratosvika ndo rakandipushira kuti ndibude kunze. Ndabuda kunze ndakararamba ndichindoeredzwa nemvura. Ndaeredzwa nemvura ndarasirwa kusaidi.
Muri yangu handisi kuziva kuti zvakamira sei kumberi kwacho kwandiri kuda kuenda. Nokuti network haisi kuita, hapana transport, marodhi ese akavhara, akazara mavhu, amwe akacherwa nemvura.
The two districts that have been hit the hardest was Chimanimani and Chipinge, and was precisely here where the people need the most that NISNA team arrived. The 11 volunteers were divided into 2 teams and sent to 2 communities each day, with a total of 4 villages and 697 patients served in 2 days. The patients from those communities must walk about 50 miles to see a doctor, and our presence made an important impact on their lives, especially on the actual financial and economic crisis.
This is my first time ever visiting Africa, visiting Zimbabwe. I have to say it was an enriching experience. I was given the opportunity to work in a rural area, 2 rural areas in Chipinge and Chimanimani. These are people that live there that have to walk miles just to get any type of healthcare medications. We were able to supply them with a lot of things that they needed for certain infections and for pain. So it was a wonderful experience to be able to give back my skills that I worked so hard for in school to people that truly need it and appreciate it. I believe that NISNA should definitely continue this program and even expand it on a larger scale. Me personally, I love when I get to work with other nurses in different countries, and I was given that opportunity here in Zimbabwe. I got to work with a few other nurses. We sat side by side doing triaging for the intake of clients, and it was a beautiful cultural exchange. I was able to inform them of what life is like back in the United States, and they informed me of life in Zimbabwe. So just that aspect alone of a cultural exchange, I believe, will be invaluable, especially since nurses, we have to have knowledge of different cultures as well in order to do our job.
This is my first trip to Zimbabwe. I was surprised, first, of the infrastructure and the way that the kids and even the elderly, first of all, when we went to take care of the patients there, The main thing is that they were out of medication. That was their main concern. And the diseases that we saw were hypertension, diabetes, infectious diseases, and stuff like that. And most of the patients were asking for medications. At one point, that one says, if we don't get medications, we're going to die. And it was really heart-rending to hear people say that. Of course, we could not have taken care of all the patients there, but it's something to think of. I would love other nurses to really come back, to come to these places on missions, to see what people are going through. We as nurses, we not only serve where we are in our country, but we're supposed to serve the entire nation, and this includes the people here. They need us. Nurses, I applaud you. Please make an extra effort to come on these missionary trips.